Today on Fresno State Focus, we'll show you what Fresno State students are doing on National Diabetes Day to spread awareness.
And climate change is killing a lot of trees in Central California. We will show you why and what a local organization is doing to replace the dead trees.
Plus, we take a look at how some people use salt therapy to detox from the bad air. Fresno State Focus starts now.
Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Morelli Tovar.
And I'm Erica Rosinski. U.S. Ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland, testified today in the impeachment hearing. Sondland said that it became clear to him that Ukrainian commitments were key to arranging a meeting with President Trump. He said he did not think arranging this meeting was wrong at the time. In Sondland's understanding, President Trump had almost $400 million in military aid set aside Ukraine needed. Sondland said there was a quid pro quo in setting up the meeting between President Trump and the U.S. President when President Trump offered military aid and of investigations into the Bidens.
Today is the annual Transgender Day of Remembrance. Trans Emotion and Cross-Cultural Gender Center at Fresno State will host a memorial event on Friday. It honors the lives of transgender individuals who lost their lives to suicide and died because of transphobia. The lives will be remembered through singing, poetry, and spoken word. There will also be a resource fair followed by the program at 7 p.m. in the North Gym on campus. Anyone is welcome to attend. People in Fresno are trying to spread more awareness about human trafficking. To do just that, Fit Republic held a Zumbathon this weekend. They also had a raffle and asked for donations. All proceeds went to Made for Them, an organization that helps spread awareness and education on human trafficking and support survivors. With Fresno located between San Diego and San Francisco, a lot of human trafficking goes through Fresno along Highway 99. This is how Kara McFadden says she can help her community.
Because I'm not working full-time, I'm a full-time mom, but I could still give a few hours a week or a few hours a month here and there, and I could still serve this group of people who are just close to my heart.
If you want to make a difference, Made for Them is always looking for volunteers. To find out, madeforthem.org.
November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and Fresno State students are helping to educate the community. The College of Health and Human Services took its swap meet at the Fresno Fairgrounds to offer free health assessments. The swap meet is a gathering place where people can find affordable home goods, food, and entertainment. The Diabetes Coalition was there to spread awareness on diabetes. They had an information booth with flyers on what diabetes is and what the symptoms are for high blood sugar. People were also able to stop by and get a free flu shot, get their blood pressure, cholesterol, and A1C checked. The last opportunity in November to visit the mobile health unit will be tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the house in Madera. With it being National Diabetes Month, I'm joined here today by Gina Falcon, the Diabetes Education Program. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, speaking of the viewers that are watching, what exactly is diabetes?
So diabetes is a condition in which our body doesn't process the food that we eat into energy. So then it turns into sugar and it ends up getting in our body and we're not processing it correctly. So if you have diabetes, you either have too much sugar in your body and your body isn't able to process it correctly. So then you become type 2 diabetic.
And so with what are the symptoms that people can kind of if they do have that?
Definitely. So one of the things that we really encourage is getting your A1C checked. So I'm really excited to hear that you had the mobile unit out and knowing your numbers. So knowing exactly, knowing if you have a 5.7 to 6.4% in A1C that you have pre-diabetes. So that can be controlled and be maintained to not go into type 2 diabetes. If you have anything above a 6.5%, then you're in the diabetes stage. And although it can be a little scary, you can still manage it.
And so, staying on the topic of staying healthy, with Thanksgiving coming up, there are a lot of good meals that are going to be right in front of you. What are some ways that people can stay healthy during the holidays?
Definitely. So with any condition, or especially with diabetes, you want to make sure that you are physically active and that you have a healthy lifestyle. So that can be eating in moderation. We really encourage patients to not really stay away from too many things that they like, because we don't want them to feel like it's work. So basically moderation, smaller portion sizing, especially around Thanksgiving and all that yummy food.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Thank you again for coming in today. We've been talking with Gina Falcon, the Diabetes Education Program Manager for the California Health Collaborative. Back to you, Areli.
Climate change has been affecting California in many ways, including killing trees. I had the opportunity to meet a team who is trying to help with this issue. Climate change has left California in a severe drought, and that means not enough water for some trees to survive. Millions of trees die each year in the U.S. alone, and that includes trees from the Sequoia National Forest, like this one. Lifeless trees are all around the forest. Some lay on the side of the road, others still stand. The drought stresses the trees, making them weaker. This creates perfect conditions for insects. Once infested, the tree cannot be saved and is more prone to catching fire. Although many trees are dying, there is a team in Fresno who is working to replace the dead trees by adding new trees to the valley.
We plant at schools, we plant it along streets, we work with the cities, the counties, we work with individual property owners and families. So we want to put trees everywhere.
Tree Fresno, along with over 100 volunteers, finished a plantation for Fresno State. To ensure the trees are planted properly, Tree Fresno experts walked along with the volunteers, helping them along the way.
Teaching them just about root balls and like cutting the roots, or like proper technique, how not to bury the tree too deep. Like those are all things that are really important.
This project added over 300 new trees, including more than 35 Italian stone pine trees. They are expected to grow big and live for many years, like other trees on campus.
In a few years, it grows about maybe 2 or 3 feet per year, so it will change the look of this area in a few years.
No matter how big or small a tree may be, it serves a purpose in our environment. Fresno State is an arboretum with over 3,000 trees all around campus, but what kind of benefits do the trees provide? Joining me today is Crystal Sandoval, Vice President of the Plant Science Club at Fresno State, to talk about the importance of our trees. Thank you for joining us, Crystal.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, why are trees so important for us?
Well, first of all, they do provide a lot of food for not only the Central Valley, but the whole world. So that's a major part of it is the food aspect of it. But along with the food aspect is also the clean air that they provide for us. As many of you guys have learned probably in biology, it cleans the air for the whole world, and it also just provides kind of like a therapeutic kind of process for anyone that's going through anything. That's why we have a lot of house plants. Right now, kind of the trend is getting succulents in your house as well, because they're cute and trendy. So, yeah.
Now, I did read an article that mentions how certain plants don't necessarily clean the air as many people believe they did, like in our homes. Mm-hmm. Is this true?
No, that's currently false. I read the same article. They weren't saying that it didn't clean the air. They're just saying it doesn't clean it as efficient, because if you take into consideration a small little plant that you have in your house compared to a big citrus tree out in the field, the citrus tree is way bigger, so it's going to clean more air faster. So the little tree is still cleaning air in your house, it's just not as efficient, because it still needs that sunlight, it still needs that airflow throughout your house. So either way, it's still cleaning it, but just not as fast. Yeah.
And what are some of those plants that we can put in our homes so it helps clean our air?
Anything that you can find, like at Walmart, Home Depot, anything that's a house-based plant, you can put in your house. Obviously, you don't want to put a big old like citrus tree in your house, but anything small enough, yeah, go ahead and try it out. It serves, like I said, as therapy. The only thing that I wouldn't recommend is, like, if you do get a plant, make sure you keep up with it and like clean it. Don't let it get moldy or collect a lot of dust, because then that's when it becomes unsafe in the house.
Thank you so much for all that information, Crystal. We've been speaking with Crystal Sandoval, Vice President of the Plant Science Club at Fresno State. Back to you, Chelsea.
With wildfire smoke, car smog, and other pollutants causing bad air quality in our Central Valley, some people use salt therapy as a natural way to help detox their bodies. Here's how they do it. The Central Valley is the heart of California. It's in the middle of a lot of great things, but this also means a lot of dust, dirt, and particles get trapped.
Which means a big blob of warm, dry air is sitting over the top of us and sinking. And as it does so, it traps all the pollution in the lower layer of the atmosphere.
This is what we are breathing here in the Central Valley, which damages our bodies.
So the pollution, when it's concentrated near the surface where we all live and breathe, means that we are inhaling that pollution. And so we have this inherent air pollution problem.
With the fires that have been happening all around us, not only has it brought in smoke, but it also brought in a lot of dust and dirt, creating this hazy look. The hazy sky comes from particulates that are polluting the air. They're too small to see, but when the sunlight hits them, they scatter the light, creating that gray sky.
Tiny little particles that are so small that when you breathe through your nose, the particles go right past your nose hairs and in to your respiratory and cardiovascular system, which causes short-term and or long-term health problems.
Some people are turning to alternative therapy to cleanse their systems of these particulates. For example, there are those who believe pink Himalayan salt therapy can help by putting minerals into your body to remove toxins.
That going into a salt room, it's going to give you that same benefit of clearing out your sinuses, clearing out your lungs, because all it is salt. What other treatment is there that is just one ingredient?
If the bad air quality is creating mucus because of allergies or asthma, then Moses says the salt will help break it out. There are ways to reduce particulate matter just by doing simple things like not burning leaves or logs in the fireplace when you aren't supposed to, and limiting how often you use your car. Back to you, Erica and Areli. Coming up on Fresno State Focus, we take a look at what Fresno State is doing in honor of International Education Week.
And in partnership with the Fresno State Collegian, we take you into the newsroom with Editor-in-Chief Seth Casey to talk about what's in the paper this week.
Plus, I'll have your focus on weather when we come back.
Success. At Fresno State, it's no secret. It's discovering new ways to change our world. It's creating opportunities as diverse as our community itself. It's in the distinction of our graduates as they lead us into the future. Success is no secret at Fresno State. It's our mission.
At Fresno State, being bold means committing to something greater than yourself. It's learning by doing and nurturing leaders to advance our shared future. It's using research to create a better life for those around us and healing those who need us most. These are our stories, because at Fresno State, bold begins here.
Guinea pigs can be a cute little addition to your family. Today we have zookeeper Kim Pauline to show us this furry little friend. Thank you for being here today, Kim.
Thanks for having me.
So I'm sure a lot of people are wondering this, but are guinea pigs good pets?
Depends on how much work you want to put in. So they have been domesticated over thousands of years to live around humans. However, they do have some nutritional needs that sometimes are pretty specific. So things like having a large hay-based diet, which is really important for their teeth and their gut health, and then vitamin C-laden produce, because they can't produce or hold on to large amounts of vitamin C. So that could lead to health problems if they don't have enough of it.
Okay, and what's his or her name?
This is Cashew. She's a 2-year-old Abyssinian guinea pig.
Oh, cute. And how many different breeds are there?
So there's said to be a few different breeds, and mainly it goes on coat type. I don't know exactly how many there are because it's a hip thing to make new versions of guinea pigs, new hairs. But they have anywhere from hairless guinea pigs to Angora guinea pigs that have the long, long hair like Angora rabbits.
Do you guys carry all those at the zoo?
We do not. We only have 2 guinea pigs at the zoo, part of our Animal Ambassador program. One of them is Cashew, and the other is her sister Pecan.
Oh, how cute. And then I know you guys do have a new main attraction. Do you want to tell us about that?
So we just had dinosaurs leave us, but we just started gearing up for zoo lights. So if you're really interested in a really fun date night, the day after Thanksgiving is when it's going to start. And there are evenings where you can walk through the zoo and see amazing lights all throughout the zoo. And it's just a really great experience. There is actually also a college night, so if you go on to FresnoChappyZoo.org, you can find a certain night and go and have a really fun time.
Oh, that sounds fun. I'll definitely have to make that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank
We've
you.
been talking with zookeeper Kim Pauline. Back to you, Aurelie.
The Collegian is an institution on campus and a news partner to us here at Fresno State Focus. Janet Vasquez takes us into the newsroom to see what's in the paper this week.
I'm here in the Collegian newsroom with Editor-in-Chief Seth Casey to talk about what's in the paper this week. So Seth, can you talk about this border trip that the students made?
Yeah, so students and faculty from the social work department took a trip down to the U.S.-Mexico border to learn about some of the issues faced by people crossing the border and some of the threats that are involved with that trip.
And there's also a story in here about structural safety. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so students at the Lyles College of Engineering are utilizing what's called a shake table, which allows them to kind of test structural integrity of buildings in the event of an earthquake.
And there's also a dance recital or a dance showcase. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I think it's called the On the Edge dance performance, and it's from, I believe, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 8 p.m., and it's just a variety of dance genres that'll be performed for people to check out.
Thank you so much, Seth. In the Collegian newsroom, I'm Janet Vasquez. Back to you in the studio.
Speaking of things happening on campus, Fresno State is celebrating its students from around the world. It's International Education Week, and flags from countries across the globe line the speaker's platform where the cook-off event was held. The International Student Services and programs held the event to highlight the diversity found on campus. There were booths, t-shirt giveaways, free churros, and even a flash mob. Students appreciated the spotlight on the importance of diversity.
These international students represent what America is going to be in the future. And they're going to soon hopefully have kids here, or they're going to end up like me. So, you know, it's what represents like Fresno, you know, Fresno State, the 3 Ds, diversity, discovery, distinction.
For more information about the other events planned for the week, look for the Fresno State Continuing and Global Education page on Facebook.
I have your focus on weather, but first let's take a look at this beautiful shot of Fresno State's campus. It looks really sunny, but it is a little bit windy. Let's move into our national satellite. There's a lot of activity going on everywhere, but where we want to focus is here in Colorado and Wyoming. There is a lot of activity within snow and a bit of rain. Moving on closer to home in the western satellite, we can see that we are actually having quite some snow in the next couple days between today and tomorrow here in the Sierra. Mainly Bakersfield will be the one affected with rain, but here closer to us in Fresno and surrounding areas, we won't see much rain or yeah, let's move on to our currently weather. All throughout the map, we are in the mid-60s. There are a couple of 50s, but look at Stockton here. It is in the 70s, and Shaver Lake 43. Tonight, however, temperatures are going to drop quite a bit. We are in the low 40s, high 30s, but take a look at Shaver Lake. It is 27 degrees. It is going to be cold. Our air quality, it is moderate throughout the map, except for in San Joaquin and Merced, it is good air quality. Now, let's take a look at our extended outlook. Throughout the week, temperatures will be in the 60s. Today, it is 60. It's really low, but throughout the week, it'll begin to increase all the way until Monday, 66. It'll be sunny. However, Tuesday, it's going to be partly cloudy, and it is going to drop to 60 again. That is your focus on weather. Back to you, Erica.
If you're looking for a fun activity to get out of the cooler weather tonight, There's something going on at Fresno State's bowling alley. Janet Vasquez is live at the Bulldog Bowl to see what's going on. Hi, Janet.
That's right, Erica. I'm here at the Bulldog Bowl in the lower level of the USU at Fresno State, where they are having the Turkey Bowl, which is a 9-pin, no-tap bowling tournament. Students can come on in and stop by and play 2 games for $2. And they also get free rental shoes. And all they need to do is show their student ID. Typically a single game would cost around $3, and the bowling shoes would be around $2.50. So if you're in the area and you want to come and bowl, now is the perfect time to do it, because this is a great deal. And it's really great to just relax and do that. So, like I said, we're here at the Turkey Bowl, and you can actually win a lot of prizes if you come by. They have prizes like Starbucks gift cards and movie passes. So if you're good, you could probably get to them. So I'm actually going to try bowling for the first time here. Let's see how this goes. Oh. Yeah, that looks like a gutter, but yeah, it was really close, but you could still come on by here from 7 to 10 p.m. So I'm Janet Vasquez here in the Bulldog Bowl. Back to you guys in the studio.
If you're looking for a way to buy local and support Fresno State this holiday season, look no further than the Gibson Farm Market. The market offers seasonal produce, award-winning wines, jams, and more. Holiday goods are available here and ready to be set on your table.
The hams are a seasonal item. We typically sell those between the months of November and December. So those are a seasonal item we bring around just for the holiday season.
The Gibson Market is located on Chestnut Avenue right behind Campus Point Shopping Center and is open every day but Sundays.
Thanksgiving is next week, and the Central Valley Food Bank wants to make sure everyone in the valley can be thankful for food on their table. Not everyone is able to have a meal for Thanksgiving, but you can help. The Central California Food Bank is asking for your hand in helping feed your neighbors by donating online, buying Christmas ornaments, or helping with food drives. Every $10 helps provide up to 70 meals to those in need. If you wish to donate, you can go online to ccfoodbank.org.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus, we will take a look inside the Downing Planetarium at Fresno State and see what it has to offer.
And in sports, as part of our partnership with the Collegian sports editor, Jorge Rodriguez is here to talk to us about what's happening this week with our football team and what a streak our volleyball team is on. That when we come back.
I got the Bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head. Up in my head. I got that Bulldog spirit up in my head. Up in my head to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. I got that Bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes. I got that Bulldog spirit down in my toes. Hey, down in my toes to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit up in my head, deep in my heart, down in my toes. I got that Bulldog spirit all over me to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart, deep in my heart. I got that Bulldog spirit.
Here in the valley, our colors are blue and our waves are red. Bulldog born and Bulldog bred. From Sweeney to Hill, Carr to Tedford, those iconic lights and that old checkerboard. Inside Bulldog Stadium, we are one. This is our valley, and this year, we're doing it for you.
Welcome back. I'm Elizabeth Clavijo with your focus on sports. In our partnership with the Fresno State Collegian, sports editor Jorge Rodriguez joins us today to go over what's happening this week. Thank you, Jorge, for being here today with us. So tell us, I know we won the basketball game this past weekend with CSU San Bernardino. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, they did really well. They beat them 92-47, and it was a really good game for them, bouncing back from the defeat from last week against San Diego.
You think we're going to do good for the basketball season? What do you think?
They're facing St. Mary's tonight, and that would be a great match to see how they do for the upcoming games.
And what about football? I know we had a football game this past weekend as well. What can you tell me about that?
They were defeated by San Diego State, and now they're in a crunch to win the last 2 games in order to make it to a ball game, because they have fallen to 4 wins and 6 losses, and they need 6 and 6 to actually go to a ball game. So they need to win the last 2 games of the season to go on to the ball game.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about volleyball? I know we haven't been doing so well, but can you tell me a little bit about that?
They were on a 6 losing game streak, but on Saturday they defeated the Air Force Academy, and it was actually senior night. So with that win, they actually gave them more motivation to actually go on and just finish the last 2 games of the season.
Okay, thank you. We've been talking with collegiate sports editor Jorge Rodriguez. Thanks, Jorge.
Thank you for having me.
There's a place on the campus where you can learn all about the stars. I had the opportunity to experience it myself.
I know this girl's 22 now, and she was in 3rd grade when she wrote this.
The Downing Planetarium has been on campus for years.
For 20 years now. When I first came to Fresno State back in 1994, I had a few teachers call me on the phone and say, can you come to our school and maybe bring a telescope and talk to the kids about astronomy?
Dr. White has been running the planetarium since it first opened. It started off as a simple idea and turned into something bigger.
So we were going to have a little planetarium that was supposed to be over by McLean Hall. In fact, it would have been where the Honors College is now. That was going to be our planetarium, but it turned out to be much bigger and better.
Little by little.
You know, we worked really hard, especially those first few years.
From the museum to the famous Little Dipper gift shop.
Probably our best customers are the 3rd graders. They like all of this stuff.
There might not be a lot going on right now, but when the sun comes down, the telescope is brought out and people get to see what's up there.
Diego brings out the telescope.
I think it's the one time where you really get to see, like, it hit people.
Diego enjoys working alongside Dr. White. He says Dr. White is
by far the person that's the most hyped on space that I've ever met in real life.
Dr. White says his 20 years of running the planetarium have been...
Well, it's been marvelous because every day I get to inspire kids about astronomy and science and excitement for the future.
The planetarium has a weekend show once a month. The next show will be holiday themed. If you are interested or would like to know more about it, visit their website to find out more.
Boston is making way for a new set of pilgrims this Thanksgiving.
These new pilgrims are little duckling statues, all dressed up. These festively dressed ducklings can be found in Boston's Public Garden.
It is quite the spectacle, helping to get people in the festive mood of the season.
We won't see you next week because we are taking the next 2 weeks off for the Thanksgiving holiday.
Join us back here for a special Christmas holiday edition of Fresno State Focus on December 11th. That will also be our final show this semester.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you in December.